Hey guys, what's up? Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is just going to be this short little video on how I shape. Today's video is going to be a video on how I maintain my brows. It's going to involve how I shape them and fill them in as well. If you are new here, my name is Morgan. I am 25 years old. Jesus. I have like a tickle in my throat, so if I keep coughing, I'm sorry. I am a licensed esthetician and freelance makeup artist. Some of these techniques are things that I did learn in school whenever I went to Aveda. As an esthetician, you are licensed to wax as well. And so this was kind of something that they taught us when it came to knowing where the start, arch, and tail of the brow should be based off of your face shape. So I'm gonna go over the products that I personally use first, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea. Normally, I wouldn't have face makeup on whenever I'm doing all this, but trust me when I say that I'm doing this all a favor by putting face makeup on. What I use to kind of shape my brows are these Twinkle eyebrow razors. I get these off of Amazon. As you can tell, one is missing. It comes in a 3-pack and I think they're like $2. I swear by these things. I also use these to take off the peach fuzz on my face. If that makes sense. Let me know if you want me to do a video on that because I will show you what I'm talking about. But they are literally eyebrow razors. They just come like this and it comes with a little cap, and as you can tell, it's got this little razor at the end. So I do use these as well as some trimming scissors. I do have my eyebrow pencil. I use this quite frequently as well. And then right now, normally I use the Anastasia Dip Brow, but I'm currently waiting for my shade of Dip Brow to come in the mail. So I've been using this iconic London brow cushion just because, sorry, it's like one of those reflective ones, and so it's like super dirty right now. I use this shade over here. It just really matches my eyebrows. So I will be using that today, as well as the Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12 brush. It's got this very slim slanted eyebrow brush thing on one side, and then it's got this little spoolie on the other side. You will need a mirror. I also wanted to talk about this because using these little eyebrow razors right here, I have been in a hurry before and have actually taken off the tail of my eyebrow by being very careless. First of all, you want to be super careful whenever you're using these things, but what has kind of helped me grow my tail back is organic castor oil. I will link this down below. This is off of Amazon. I actually use this on my eyelashes too, and I even put this on like super dry parts of my body. I have like really dry skin, and there's certain parts of my body that are like dry and no lotion will moisturize it. If you've ever wanted to, you know, make your eyebrows or eyelashes longer or thicker or whatever, it enhances hair growth, okay? You want to make sure that it's 100% castor oil and that it is cold pressed, but I will link this one. I got this one off of Amazon, and I just use disposable spoolies with that. I don't think that I have the best eyebrows. I definitely have overplucked and yada yada yada, but I've definitely got them in better shape than they used to be, so I'll just show you kind of what I do. Wow, we're super close and personal now. I probably do this. I like to look at my eyebrows kind of frequently just to keep them in better shape. Whenever you keep them in the actual shape that you want them, it's so much easier to fill in your brows. But I do want to say that less is more when it comes to your eyebrows too, so do not overdo it, ladies and gentlemen. So first, I'm going to take this little spoolie right here, come on, and I am going to brush my hairs in the directions that I want them to go. I always brush them up first so that I look crazy. And then I like to take my little eyebrow trimming scissors, and I don't have like too much of an example right now because I do try to keep up with them. But normally what I use the scissors for is any of these hairs that are kind of like long and just a little bit longer than the rest. I like to trim them. And like I said, do not go too crazy with this, guys. I also take a step back and kind of look at myself in the mirror, because whenever you're focusing like super up close for too long, you kind of lose sight of what it would look like if you were looking at yourself from far away. If that makes any sense. If you're not sure if you should be trimming a certain hair because you can't tell if it's too long or not, don't trim it. Just don't do it. You will know. I'm actually going to leave these alone though, because I have definitely over trimmed before and have made my eyebrow hair shorter, and so then there's like sparseness in my brows. But moving on, we are now going to talk about where your eyebrow should start, where the arch should be, and where your tail should be. This is going to be different for everybody because based off of your face shape. What I like to do is take my little eyebrow pencil because it's kind of slim. But where the start of your brow should be is hold up anything that is slim onto the side of your nose, and wherever it starts is where your eyebrow should start. I also have very light eyebrow hairs right here, so I know that you can't really tell, but there are some right there, but I've definitely have over plucked right here, and so I am on my way to rebuild those hairs with my castor oil. Okay, so you're gonna want to do this. You're gonna want to put it on the side of your nose, and I always just take this and draw a little line. Ta-da! Okay, so that's gonna be the start of your eyebrows, and then you're gonna take the same pencil and you're going to slant it like this. I'm so bad at describing what to do. Where your arch should be is where the pencil meets either the center of your iris or the, I would say, 3/4 of the way out. If that makes any sense. So right here, and as you can see, that is where my arch is. Now we're just doing this sloppily, guys, because I normally don't use just the pencil to fill in my eyebrows. And then the tail of your brow should be at the very end of your eye. So right here. That's where your eyebrow should end. Okay, so once you have that done, I personally like to brush my eyebrow hairs up again, and I am actually going to go in with my brow cushion just because that's like my preferred way of filling in my brows. I also want to note that I'm not sure if you can see, but there is like brow hairs right here. That is where the razor comes into play. But when it comes to shaping your brows and learning how to shape them, like I kind of already know where my brows start and where the arch should be and the tail should be. So I could go in with this eyebrow razor before even filling this in and just shave off those eyebrow hairs. But for the sake of this video and showing you how to learn your own shape, we're gonna do that last because you wanna make sure that you're not getting any of the other hair. But so I'm just gonna take my little eyebrow thingy and dip it into this brow cushion. And I like to brush my hairs up, and I like to start right kind of in the center just to create a base, and then the excess product, after I've gotten like the majority of it right at the base, I like to drag it up front where the front of my brow should be. That way there's not too much product, because that's when you kind of get the, what is it called, the Sharpie looking brows. They look really blocky and stuff. You don't want too much product because naturally you have like feathered out hairs right there. Mine, for example, are like ombre. It's great. And I won't leave it just like that. I will go back in. So then I continue to brush the product up, and this is kind of where you want to really focus, especially for me, because this is where I would say the most sparse of my brows are, is like at the tail. On this end, it's like blonde, literally. I think I have some kind of problem where like I have a birthmark on this whole side of my head where it comes in blonde and then the rest of my hair is dark, and I think it affects this eyebrow, to be completely honest. Like I said, I brush my brow hairs in this direction, and then I just kind of go to create my tail. And instead of finishing it like complete like that, once I kind of get the base of the underline, I like to kind of brush my brow hairs down a little bit so I can really see where I'm gonna need to fill in up top. But I don't leave it like that, because if you leave it like that, then you kind of lose the shape again. Kind of brush them back to where they need to be whenever my eyebrow's completely done. And this time I like to start at the base, kind of finish off that tail. This is the brow that gives me the most problems when it comes to my tail. This is where I had shaved off my eyebrow, so it kind of lost shape completely, and so I'm slowly rebuilding it. But at the very end, I will show you how you can clean it up with concealer and kind of like really sharpen that part up. Okay, so we will come back and we will perfect this brow in a little bit, but we're gonna switch over to this side now. So like I said, I'm going to brush my brow hairs up, start up the base of my brow. And once I get to where I actually need the start of my brow to be, I turn the brush this way and create like hair strokes. So now I'm going to brush down just to kind of see where I need to fill in. But then remember, then you're going to want to brush your hairs where they would actually lay. And I'm going to start at the base again. And if you go a little bit too thick on one side, it's okay. We will fix everything. And then I'm just going to run the rest of that product at the front of my brow because as you can see, it's like really light up there. Okay, so there's a couple of spots that I want to like draw attention to just so that you can see where my mistakes are so far and what I'm going to do to fix them. On this brow, I went a little too thick. I think it's just because I'm trying to look in the viewfinder and I couldn't really tell, but I went a little bit too high. I think my eye vision is going bad. But we will fix that. And then also right here at the beginning of each brow, you don't want to put too much product, but you also want to put enough product or it won't look right. So we're just going to go back into the brow cushion and very lightly tap the brush in and then wipe off any excess. And then we're going to go back at the front of each brow and create brow hair strokes. And then I also need to fix this part right here. And then I always brush my hairs how I would want them to actually lay. So this brow is a little bit thicker, but we will take care of that with some concealer in a little bit. And then I kind of just focus on any other areas that are very sparse. I would definitely say that the Anastasia Dip Brow is a lot better of a product when it comes to creating these hairs right here. What I'm using right now is kind of just straight liquid, and so it really doesn't mimic a brow hairs very well. I wish I had mine on me, but it's fine. Okay, and so this is a time where you would kind of want to take a mirror and take a look at yourself farther away just to really see what you're looking like. We still look very crazy. We kind of look a little blocky. There's some issues going on, you know, but it's okay. We're gonna fix that. While I still have you super up close, I want to show you what I'm talking about when, okay, so this is the shape that I am aiming, well, not this one. This one still needs help, okay? But this is mainly the shape that I am aiming for my brows to look like with no product on my brows. So this gives you an idea of where I want my eyebrows to be once the hair is all grown in and stuff like that. So any of these little hairs down here, they gotta go. This is where you would take your razor and very carefully you are going to pull your eyebrow up and just shave off any of those brow hairs. This really helps you create a kind of like a map for where you want your eyebrows to be, and they are just way easier to maintain. Make sure you get the center part. And we'll do this over here. You can also use tweezers. If you're still learning where you want your eyebrow shapes to be, and just be careful when it comes to these hairs like that are closer up where you mapped it out. It's okay if you have a couple stray hairs for the sake of your eyebrows, all right? Okay, so that's about as comfortable as I feel getting close to it without taking any stragglers off. All right, and then just 1 second, I'm gonna come back on here and we are going to clean up these eyebrows with some concealer, and I will show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so now for my favorite part. I'm gonna take some concealer and then this little concealer brush, and we are just going to clean up and sharpen these brows or any places that I don't want my brows to be. You just need a very little amount, super thin amount. You don't want to go overboard because then the product will kind of get all over your brows and then it's a mess. I'm gonna start at the tail of my brow. And then I like to go at the top of the tail of my brow. And I'm just going to use this little tiny brush to blend in some of that product, especially around the tail. And then I'll just go over with my beauty sponge just to make sure everything is kind of blended into the skin. So now I'm gonna zoom you guys back out. And this is kind of like where I like to look my own personal mirror. And if I was gonna actually wear these brows out, kind of touch up any place where like either I messed up some of the concealer or the sponge took away some product or something. I also don't have any of my brow gel currently, but you get the gist, correct? I mean, it seems like a tedious job, but I like to do this and it just really keeps up with your brows. Before you know it, you will have the shape and the brows that you want. I like to use my castor oil at night because this is super thick stuff, but this is the shape that I would personally be happy with. It's actually the shape that flatters my face the most based off of this method right here. This can work for girls who, you know, have overplucked or who have what they call sperm brows. Granted, it's going to take some patience and you're going to see some eyebrow hairs in all these crazy places. Patience is a virtue when it comes to your brows, like big time. It's worth it in the end because your eyebrows shape your face. Also, concealer and that little concealer brush, it will cover up those little stragglies. So if you're trying to grow your eyebrow hairs out and you are tempted to just keep plucking because it doesn't align with what you have going on right now, but you're trying to change your shape, just use some concealer. It will actually cover it up. You have to be patient, guys. You have to. I hope I explained myself well enough in this video, and I hope that you guys learned something from it. I will leave all of these products linked down in my description box. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. If this video helped you in any kind of way, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.